What's up everyone, it's Mario Man 2100 back again with another countdown list. Now I originally started writing the script for this last August, but since I was still working on it during September and early October, I decided to delay it until now, just so all the games that I pre-ordered were out, and I had time to decide where on this list they lied. This time it's not on a particular game series, but on various games on a system. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my top games list for the Nintendo 3DS. Keep in mind that I'm only stacking up games that I actually own on this list. I have notable mentions for this list for various reasons, and they are Sonic Boom, Shattered Crystal, since I haven't played it yet, Fire Emblem Awakening, since I haven't even started playing that yet, Theatrhythm Final Fantasy, since I've only played the demo and not the full release of the game, and The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, which I did have. Now I don't have it anymore since I gave it to one of my friends who enjoys the Zelda series a lot more than I do. These are notable mentions due to the fact that someone will ask why these games aren't on the list. So I thought I'd jump the gun and put them here. I have 23 titles for the Nintendo 3DS, not including the 4 that I've already mentioned. So this list will start off with the worst game I have, and will rise through the ranks to the best game I have for the system. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to have to start with a pretty shit game. It's Paper Mario Sticker Star. Anyway, I think a fair amount of people know why this game is here, but if you don't, I'll give you some advice. Don't buy this game! The reason why you shouldn't is due to the fact of how bad it is structured as an RPG, and as a video game in general. There's no real leveling up system, which by the way is essential for RPGs, and your attacks in the game are just like gun ammo in shooters. Once you run out, you're fucked! So this game was my first Paper Mario game, and it has left a lasting impression on me. I picked up Super Paper Mario, but I haven't played it yet. Sometime soon, but not yet. All because of Sticker Star. So yeah, off to a great start, huh? Here's another game which I dabble money in. This game isn't as bad as Sticker Star, and hell, even the other games on this list higher up are not on the level of that piece of shit. I got the 2 previous games on the Nintendo DS, and then when I got my Nintendo 3DS, I decided to wait a few months, and finally got this game later on, when my library was expanding almost rapidly. Mario and Sonic in the London 2012 Olympic Games was not bad, but it's something that you just can't sit through without getting bored. I did play the game, but I found it very boring after I finished just one event in it. I then decided after that I would trade in Sticker Star and this game back into my local EB Game Store, since they weren't fun for me. I have played Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Summer and Winter Games, but was a little bummed out when Mario and Sonic Sochi 2014 was a Wii U exclusive game. Oh well. Holy jeez, it's this game. Okay, I'm gonna be blunt. I think this is the worst installment in the New Super Mario Bros. Series. Yes, even worse than the DS original. Well, I love the DS version, love the Wii version, and haven't played too much of New Super Mario Bros. U, but I do love that one too. I feel as if this one was pretty rushed, and yeah, you could say the same for Mario Bros. U, but that game had some pretty creative ideas for power-ups, level design, and also plot. Well, if there was one in a 2D Mario game. This one I feel lacks in the great stuff that the DS, Wii, and Wii U versions all had, and I feel that the 1 million coins challenge and the Golden Fire Flower power-up weren't enough to make this game different from the others in the series. So this one rates low, but I'll probably pick it up again sometime down the line. Ha! No. Well, it's Mario and Luigi RPG 4. To be completely honest, I haven't played too much of this one. I've played all the other games in the series, and I thought that this game's plot, well, from what I've seen of it anyway, was pretty creative, and I enjoyed it nonetheless. I mean, yeah, it did have some cringe-worthy jokes in it, but I also love the return of the battle mechanics from Bowser's Inside Story, which were improved on in this game in all the right places. The pillow mechanic with Luigi was cool, and the dream segments were pretty great and creative too. The music is also composed very beautifully too, so I gotta give props to Yoko Shimomura on the music and Nintendo for this game. I'm just a little pissed that I haven't spent more time playing this one, but like I said before, I'll probably play it again, but I haven't planned when I will yet. Another Sonic Racing game has come along, and when I seen it was for the 3DS as well as main consoles, I picked it up, and I found it was way too easy, even for hard mode, which is the mode I played on since the beginning of the game. And it was only after I unlocked expert mode when the difficulty actually changed to how it should have been. And I still played fine. The physics on the Race of Ages track on the 3DS version is a bit off too. For some reason, while I'm on that track during a race, the track somehow throws my racer around and even flips me, making me do a 360 to land back on track, and then I just fall straight off the track again. I did finish the game, but I haven't picked it up much since then. I did race from time to time on various tracks, but I found that between most of the transformation sequences, the frame rate slowed right down into single digits from my visual memory, and I didn't feel as if the boat and plane sequences are nearly as fun as the console counterparts. This game was okay, but far from the fun of the console versions. Kid Icarus Uprising. Now you're probably wondering, why isn't this game higher? One reason. I haven't played through much of it. I've only finished the first level of it, and that's it. Not because I don't like the game. I just haven't had the time to go back to it yet. I have at least 20 other titles to play for the 3DS. Some need more attention than the others. Once I get the time to go back to this, I will play more of it. Promise, cross my heart, blah blah blah. One of my first 3DS games I ever got. Mario Power Tennis was a really fun game, and when I seen this game via Nintendo Direct a while ago, I was excited. I really looked forward to this game, and when I got it, I was a little bit disappointed. Not to say that the game was bad, no, it wasn't. I just think that only really having this 3DS game by itself and no other 3DS game at the time was the reason for this. It's a good game, don't get me wrong, but it didn't have quite the polish that Mario Power Tennis did. I was a really big fan of the special moves that you could use in matches in that game, like Mario's Mallet, and of course, Wario's Extendo Arm special, which I still laugh at to this day. All I can do in this game is either drop shot it, top spin, or an overall smash shot to score any points. Normal shots like this are somewhat boring and basic as well. The stages and characters are all great, and even some of them were unlocked via QR codes, which I do have all of them. I also think that the Street Pass feature in this game was pretty good too. I do enjoy it to some extent, but I don't really play this game too much anymore. Ah well, all games fall to that fate at some point. I had picked this up a while ago, and I tried this one out, but the thing is, I didn't really enjoy it that much. I loved playing Mario Party 8, considering it was my first Mario Party game. Then I picked up Mario Party DS, and it was alright. Not the best game in the world, but a good one nonetheless. A really great story mode too. I then played Mario Party 9, and I was a bit pissed off about a few things in it. And this game has continued most of the trends set in Mario Party 9, including the ones that I didn't like. I haven't played all the boards yet, but I'm a bit skeptical on this one. This is a game series that I really enjoy, even if it's a puzzle game. Like Tetris, I really find this at times addictive, and I play a lot of it at times, and the pressure you feel when you're close to losing is unlike any other situation in gaming. I find this game will be great to have in your 3DS library, since it's a puzzle game you can play on the go. The reason it's here is that I haven't played too many levels in it, and there are a few modes that I haven't played yet either, so yeah. Ocarina of Time. I don't know what it is about you that everyone enjoys so much, but I'm 50-50 about this. I don't mind this game, and I can see what parts of the game that everyone seems to enjoy, but I don't feel the same way. I didn't grow up with the original game, so maybe that's why I've picked up and put down this game a few times. But hey, I have played it, and I did like the interface that this version of the game had. It was structured very well, and I commend it for that. I'll play the rest of it sometime soon, but as of now, not yet. Ah, Sonic the Hedgehog. What is it about you that I enjoy so much? So many things to answer that. I love the character and most of the series' voice actors, I love the sense of speed in most of the games, and the platforming has changed so much that I'm anticipating what Sega will do next. Of course, I love the Unleashed formula of gameplay, boosting through loops and playing through enemies head first. It's so good. Considering I got the console version of this game and loved it, I was really looking forward to this one, just like the console version. I've played it, and I have played all 100 missions on it too, and I've got to say, I really did enjoy it. Not as much as the console version, but no, duh. I did like some of the levels in this game, but was bummed out that only 2 levels came from handheld games and the rest were console games. But hey, you can't win everything. The game was pretty good, but I think it should have had 2D and 3D gameplay styles in this game, rather than 2 versions of 2D gameplay. But the game as a whole was pretty good. Love the unlockable music too. It's great to be a Sonic fan. Except for right now. The original Luigi's Mansion was the first Mario game I ever played, and the first GameCube game I ever played. This was when I was really young, like 6 years old, so I don't remember very well. I didn't pick up that game after that until 2012 when my friend lent it to me for a while, so I could play it again. And all my memories of how much fun I had playing it came back to me, and I loved playing it again. I had 1 boo left and I could take on the final boss, but that's when I had to give it back. So when I'd seen the trailer for its sequel at E3 a couple of years ago, I went ballistic. I decided that I'd pick it up when it came out, and I've played the first Mansion, but haven't picked it up for a while. I really loved the game and it had me hooked for a while, until I could get more 3DS games. I love this game, but I hope I do pick it up again sometime soon, since I loved the original so much. The next one is Sonic Lost World. I remember seeing this one at E3 2013, and I, among many others, were thrown off with Sega and Sonic Team changing the formula so soon. Yeah, it had been some time since the boost formula got introduced, but I didn't mind it to be honest. So I watched this game very carefully after that trailer reveal, but I ended up pre-ordering the game for both Wii U and 3DS anyway. The game itself is not too bad, but the amount of time that has to be spent on completing levels from about halfway to the end of the game gets pretty boring then. So I had many play sessions due to that fact. It handles pretty well in control, but sometimes the parkour system gets a bit tedious when doing certain things. Overall, it's not too bad of an attempt, but I do hope that if Sega keep in this direction, that they improve on the problems that were present in this game. Super Mario, Jesus Christ. Why were you so great for me for so many years? I don't know what it is about this franchise, but it never ceases to amaze me. This game was pretty good when it was first released, but I found that strolling through it now becomes tiresome and somewhat boring. Maybe it was because I got this game about 3 years after it was released. I don't know. The game uses the 3D feature pretty well considering that it was very early in the 3DS's life cycle. Not a bad game, but not a really amazing Mario platforming game. Maybe I get bored of these platforming games because of how repetitive the end game of Super Mario Galaxy was. I don't really know, but hey, Mario games are still good. Now we're getting to the really good ones of my library. This game is a really great Mario Kart game. It functions very well. The tracks are pretty good, the retro tracks are pretty great, and online was so much fun. The gripes I do have with this one though, is the character roster, the battle mode, and the new features of the racing. Most of the characters are pretty good, like Shy Guy and Lakitu, but Honey Queen was crap and I don't think I used her once, and Mud Mario was just a waste. Where's my Hammer Brother or Kamek, Nintendo? The battle mode was great in Mario Kart Wii, but it's one of the worst in this one. Pretty boring arenas, whether it was retro or new, and it just wasn't that fun. Where's Funky Stadium, Nintendo? And the gliding and underwater sections were at best okay, but some were pretty pointless. Plus, no versus mode. So you had to play your favourite track in one of the cups with other tracks you don't particularly enjoy. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go enjoy Mario Kart 8.
And boost, boost, boost. Oh my god, look at this! God, when they said, yeah, remember this B button? Yeah, you have to use it in this game. We're just like, no, we don't.
Kingdom Friggin' Hearts, the brainchild of Square Enix and Disney. This entry in the series occurs right after the events of Recoded for the DS, where Sora and Riku finally take their Mark of Mastery exams in hope to become true keyblade wielders. The game handles really well and is one of the best controlling Kingdom Hearts titles in the franchise. Flow motion added a lot of fun to the gameplay, just flying around the magical Disney worlds in multicolored fashion. The story gets pretty convoluted though. I mean, time travel? Was that really necessary? The game relied a little bit too much on flow motion as well in some fights, which is a bummer, but I think this is a great Kingdom Hearts game that is a must for RPG fans. Just pick up some of the other games too, otherwise this game's plot will make no sort of sense whatsoever. It's this one. For those of you who don't know, which will be all but two of you, this was my first ever Animal Crossing game. I always thought the series was too kiddish for me. How wrong I was. This game can be really addictive, and I didn't know that going in. It's a great game and there's so much to do. You're the mayor of the town, so make and run it as you seem fit. My town's pretty expansive, but it's not the biggest one ever. But I'll expand it soon enough. Hopefully. Now, to talk about RPGs for a minute, I have played a few games in the style of an RPG. I've played the likes of many games from the Final Fantasy series, I've also played many games from the Kingdom Hearts series, and also dabbled a little bit into Advance Wars, the tactical RPG type game for the GBA. I haven't played the likes of Fire Emblem or even the Tales of series, but this next title really was a bit ambiguous from the start. Project X, or Crosszone, is a cross between a tactical RPG and a fighting game, which is a new kind of experience for me. This game features various characters from the Sega, Capcom, and Bandai Namco universes all coming together to fight against an unknown evil. It includes characters such as Mega Man X and Zero, Ryu and Ken, Xiaomu and Jin, and many others. This game is still fun to play, and I've put it down a couple of times in the past, but unlike Sticker Star, I've also picked it back up again from time to time. I haven't finished it yet, but I've gotten pretty far into the story, like at least 20 chapters, I believe. Was there any doubt about it? You knew this would be near the top somewhere. It's just too good. I've been playing Pokemon for quite some time, since 2002 I believe, so 13 years of experience with this series, and I tell you, some of my best gaming experiences ever have come out of it. Beating the Elite Four for the first time in Emerald version after many attempts against Wallace and his well-balanced team, dominating against Team Magma, Aqua, Galactic, and Plasma handsomely, and I've learned so much about various values of life over the 5 generations before this one. When the trailer for Generation 6 came out, all us Pokemon fans were gasping for air after cheering for hours on end. I gotta admit, I cheered a fair bit myself. I, among many others around the world, were anticipating and waiting until release day, and when it finally came out, it was what we hoped, and so much more. I have spent a fair amount of time on this Pokemon game in particular, going back to it now and then, and leveling up my Pokemon team. It was also the fastest amount of time I've completed the main story, with just under 35 hours at my disposal. Sure, that may not sound fast, but considering my next record time was 45 hours, and that was Pokemon Platinum, I think it was a pretty big feat. Pokemon X and Y feel like the best in the series for many aspects, but I think that the after game from Black and White 2 was better than this entry, from what I've heard anyway, since I haven't really played that much of Black 2 and White 2 at all. Just because in this title, it wasn't really that long, and in Black and White 2, you could fight against all the other gym leaders and champions of all the other regions from the OG Kanto all the way to Unova. Other than that, Pokemon X and Y was the best experience from a game that I played in 2013. But two recent games beat it to the top spot, so the question is, which two games are they? Let's find out. Oh my god, Mario Man, Smash Brothers is number one? Oh my god! I know, right? Even though it isn't at the top, it's up here for a reason. For those of you who don't know or haven't seen my Smash Brothers marathon at this point, which I suggest you do since I had a lot of fun making that, I love the Smash Brothers series. So when the newest games got announced, you probably know how I reacted. To be honest, very similar to Pokemon X and Y, but with more hype and anticipation. When I finally got my hands on the game, you're damn right I played a lot of the modes of the game. I couldn't go overboard since my final exams were coming up at the time, but let me tell you, listening to the soundtrack while studying is a great source of focus. Well, for me anyway. I love the soundtrack, the characters, there's so much more out of this game. There's probably too many things that I like that I couldn't even mention. I've put a lot of time into this version now, and I can tell you that I'm really used to the controls. I picked them up off the demo at about my third match, and have improved quite a bit. Am I tourney viable? No way in hell, but I'm definitely playing a lot better than I was. I've also got the new Nintendo 3DS XL with C-Stick and all, so I need to get used to playing Smash 3DS on there now, but on my normal DS, I'm alright. So what's my favourite 3DS game, you ask? Well, if you've been paying attention, you should already know what this game is. So without further ado, my favourite 3DS game in my library is... Well. Generation 3, you've done it again. You've fallen straight into the loving part of my heart again. When this game got announced, the internet literally exploded. No, it wasn't Kim Kardashian in her photo shoot or Pac-Man in Smash. It was this game getting announced. This game is my childhood right here, and it's really great to play it all over again. But as of writing this, I haven't even beaten the 7th gym! Mario man, you put this game on top of a Smash Brothers, and you haven't played it yet? That's not fair. This is my list, guys. I picked the games and where they sit, okay? The reason this game is where it is due to the fact of nostalgia and the crossover between the original Ruby Sapphire and implementing most of the mechanics brought forward from Pokemon X and Y. This crossover actually helps out the game and flatters it really well. The presentation is top notch, and I like how your rivals May, Brendan, and Wally ask you if you want to go somewhere, and if you accept, it warps you there. It really decreases a lot of the unnecessary backtracking, but if you want to grind battles for experience, you can always deny going if they ask you, and then you can go back and accept when you finish grinding. So at least it's an option that Nintendo put in for the players. It's a nice touch. I love this game, and I will always have Gen 3 close to my heart. Thanks again, Nintendo, for another nostalgia trip once again, and I hope your systems, present or future, continue to succeed with great titles like Star Fox for the Wii U. Hopefully you can do Metroid and F-Zero sometime soon too? So ladies and gentlemen, this has been Mario Man 2100. Thanks so much for watching. You guys have a great day or night, and of course, take care.